Hello, everybody out there in listening world. Wesley Bray here with Core Scope Insights. I hope you guys are having a great week. What lovely weather we've had, but the rain is coming our way out here. So we do need some rain to wash away all this pollen. I'm sure you all are irritated with all the sneezing and everything that is done. So brought our way. But tonight I've got a very special guest. But hey, remember, here at Core Scope Insights, we're always at the core of industry, always expanding the scope. And tonight I've got a good friend of mine in the studio with us, Mr. John Burkett. So John is with Crossroads Mortgage Company right here.
Cross country
Cross
mortgage.
Country Mortgage Company. I got that wrong. My bad. I'm glad he corrected me. So, folks, that's no different than my wife. She has to correct me all the time. So, John, why don't you tell everybody about yourself and make sure you get it right? Cross Country
Absolutely.
Mortgage Company.
Well, cross country mortgage is not big in South Carolina in general, but it is big nationwide. It's the #1 retail lender in America. So what that means essentially is that we make more loans to people living in their home as their primary residence than any other bank or lender out there. And we did that 3 years in a row. So I'm excited.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, hey, you're dealing with numbers all the time. You're dealing with people's financials. What drew you to the mortgage industry?
My path to the mortgage industry was a kind of a interesting one in regards to how you navigate in to the financing side because I started with a real estate investment firm in 2007. So we were doing property management. So my experience started there, real estate,
Right.
rental. We were doing some seller financing, and that's kind of how you started learning. I started learning about, well, okay, interest rates and payments and
Sure.
all that. We grew a pretty big rental portfolio, but the unique thing about what we did was we had an option to buy. So our tenants weren't just tenants. We
Right.
gave them the opportunity to buy the home. They might be executing on an option 2 or 3 or 4 years into their rental, right? And
Wow.
so the way most would do that is through a loan. They
Right.
would rent for a while and then they get the loan and pay us off and take the home and we'd be out the picture.
Right.
And so I loved that. I loved the feeling of knowing this person rented for a while and then owned
Didn't they have
and
ownership?
it was life-changing for them. You could tell
Exactly.
they were thrilled with the opportunity to buy. So when that company got sold and I had to figure out what I was going to do with the rest of my life and my career, I wanted to become a loan officer.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So let me ask a question here. Regarding cross country mortgage, what do y'all
Yes.
specialize in? Do y'all specialize in anything in particularly? And you might have just covered it, but if you want to
Yeah.
elaborate on that.
Well, cross country mortgage, again, being the #1 retail lender in America, the way you get to be #1 is you cast the widest net,
Right.
right?
Right.
So
Absolutely. I love that.
there's there's all these different loan programs, and what a lot of banks or lenders do is they'll kind of squeeze the box a little bit. Well, we don't want to make a loan to someone who's a 580. We're going to make our minimum credit score 620. Well,
Sure.
cross country doesn't do that. They will write the loan to the specific guidelines like FHA or VA or USDA. They don't overlay additional requirements on the borrower.
Right.
And so by casting the widest net in that regard, we're able to service a lot more people. I mean,
That's
for
awesome.
example, I just serviced somebody, I got them a loan, and they're a 530 credit score borrower.
Wow. You
So
think it's more leniency because of the interest rate?
no, I mean, I think the interest rate is a whole different dynamic, but what casting the widest net just means is like, hey, we want to capture as many people as possible, not necessarily because of like what's happening in the market to gain market share, but just in general to like say,
Sure.
hey, we want to have your business,
We
you
want to
know?
help you.
We don't want to
Yeah.
turn people down.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's
So
awesome.
if we can help you, we will. Now the other thing is there's a massively growing phase of the market, which is called non-qualified mortgage or non-QM.
Yeah.
It's probably what you may have heard in the past called subprime lending,
Sure. Yeah.
right? And these are the borrowers who don't fit the box. They're the
Right.
people who don't have traditional income. They maybe they don't have like the perfect situation with their credit or with their income or with their debt. So, the thing that cross country mortgage has done is they've really double down on that aspect of the business and we do all of that in-house. So this would be like a bank statement loan for a self-employed borrower who files their taxes in such a way that they don't show a lot of income, but at the end of the day, they're depositing
Sure.
a
Sure.
fair amount of money month in, month out. And so we can get them a loan on a non-traditional mortgage because the traditional mortgages want to see the tax returns, but the bank statement loan says, we're just going to look at the bank statements.
Right.
See what I mean?
So our homes are for right now in general, are homes still moving pretty good in the Midlands and in South Carolina,
Yeah.
or have you seen a dramatic slowdown? Or
Wesley, I'll say this. I feel privileged to be in South Carolina.
that's awesome.
South Carolina is like probably, I think it's top 5 states for out-of-state residents moving into. In fact, I think we just surpassed Florida. Florida's very expensive, Texas
Right.
very expensive. South Carolina's still very economical.
Yeah.
And in particular, we live in the Midlands, right? We live in
Right.
Columbia, the greater Columbia area. Well, man, there's homes in our area that are still reasonably priced. I'm
Right.
saying, 150, 200, 250,
Sure.
you can find
Absolutely.
them.
They're out there. Yeah.
If you're in Charleston, if you're in Greenville, if you're in
It's
Charlotte,
gonna
if
be
you're in
up there.
Atlanta, you're not finding a 200.
No.
You're not finding a 200.
But you don't have to go far to find it, you know?
Right.
We're only like an hour and a half from Charleston, an
Right.
hour and a half from Charlotte, hour and 15 minutes from Greenville or Spartanburg,
right.
you know, up
Yep.
those areas. So that's really cool. Let me ask you a question. Is there misconceptions that first-time home buyers have out there that maybe you'd like to clarify, or give those folks that feel like, hey, I can't afford to buy?
Yeah.
I feel like you could comfort them because, by the way, John and I, we're in a group that meet for business. And, I hear John talk about how much he loves to help people. And every week he's got a success story of how he's helped someone buy a house. Why don't you elaborate on that
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now
yeah.
a little bit and tell people what you've been able to do for some of your recent customers and maybe clear that fear factor for those
Yeah.
who want to buy a house?
So I would say, first of all, the biggest misconception with first time home buyers, people think, oh, I'm a first time home buyer, I'm gonna just get free loans, and there's no such thing as free, right?
Right.
Nothing in life is truly free, right?
Exactly.
But that being said, there are a lot of programs for people, particularly on the low to moderate income side.
Sure.
Like you're not gonna get assistance with your first loan ever, your first home purchase ever, if
Right.
you make $200,000. I'm
Right.
sorry, you're just not, right?
Yeah, it's not gonna
The
happen.
These funds that assist, they're for there's a limited amount of money. So they have to really limit and box in who gets it. So, I would say, for example, there's a client of mine and he's just graduated college. He's into his first kind of career job.
Right.
And he and his mom are gonna buy a home, not together. He's buying the home. They just living
Cool.
together. And I got him a loan where he's getting down payment assistance. So we're covering the down payment with another loan, a second loan. But that gives him the ability to bring very little to closing, maybe
Sure.
a couple $1,000s, right?
Right.
You combine my ability to get a down payment assistance program with maybe the current market condition today, which is sellers giving
Right.
buyers incentives.
Big
It
time.
is a buyer's market. So then that leads us into a position where this guy doesn't bring much money to
Yeah.
$2,000-$3,000 to closing. And while that may be, the thought process is, well, wait, why do I need to bring 2-3,000? Well, listen, I mean, you're gonna have to bring something. You
Sure.
can't go into a home buying
Gotta
process
come
with
into something.
0.
Yeah, exactly. And
But
do you
there
think
are
do you
assistance
let
programs.
me ask you, do you think people are waiting too long to buy their first house because maybe they're thinking the interest rate will come down? But and you're the expert,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
my thought to somebody looking to buy a home is, look, you're going to start putting equity into what you own.
Yes.
And also, I look at it as, while you're waiting on the interest rate to come up, the inflation still continues to go up.
Yes.
Am I right or wrong
Yes.
in that? So I'll let you
100%.
please,
Yes. So, look, there are some markets where values have come down and maybe it's gobbling up a little bit of the equity. That's not happening in Columbia in our marketplace. Maybe at the really, really high price points. But what are we talking about right now? We're talking about first-time home buyers, right? Okay.
Right.
So let me say this to you if you're a first-time home buyer out there right now.
That
If
was my
you
next question I had for you is, please, yeah, elaborate on that.
All right. as an advisor, which is what I consider myself, I'm not just a order taker. I'm not just a loan officer. I advise. I would say if you have an opportunity to invest, do it. If your company is doing a 401k, participate. And if you have the chance to buy instead of rent, buy. Why? Because that's a forced savings
Sure.
account, right?
Exactly.
I mean, essentially, every monthly payment you make, you're ticking down your principal balance owed. You do that over 3, 4, 5, 6 years, and perhaps the home is appreciating also. Now
Right.
you've got some equity. You turn around and sell it, and you walk away with money in hand that you
Yep.
would not otherwise have had if you rented. We got a guy
Absolutely.
right now who he knows he's not going to be here for much more than maybe a year, but he's like, man, if I rent, I'm just throwing money away,
That's right.
right?
Yep.
So anytime you have an ability to invest, put money in. Put money in your home, put money in investment account, put money in savings. And that would be my best advice is, don't splurge on unnecessary things. Hey, make your coffee at home. Don't go to Starbucks, you know?
Exactly. Good advice. Folks, I
Yeah.
tell you what, I feel like we're all learning something here, and this is a great show. Glad to have John on with us tonight. But listen, show wouldn't be a show without its listeners or its sponsors. So we're going to take just a moment here. We're going to go to break, recognize our sponsors. Thank y'all for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button, hit that ring bell, and give us a like. Leave a comment. We always love to see what you'd like to see on the show and further in our comments. And believe me, we read them all and even our emails. So please reach out to us. And folks, hold on to your seat. We'll be right back. When you need printing done right and done locally, choose Pine Press of Lexington, South Carolina. From business cards and brochures to signs, banners, and custom printing projects, Pine Press delivers quality craftsmanship with personal service you can trust. Whether you're a small business, church, school, or organization, they help bring your ideas to life on time and on your budget. Conveniently located at 142 Ellis Avenue in Lexington, South Carolina, Pine Press is your hometown printing partner with decades of experience and attention to detail. Call 803-359-9162 or visit them at pinepressprinting.com or stop in today. That's Pine Press of Lexington, where your message makes a lasting impression. Can we all agree that when your equipment stops, your business stops? That's why professionals trust Bearing Supply in West Columbia. They provide high-quality bearings, power transmission parts, industrial supplies, and expert support to keep operations running smoothly. When you're in manufacturing, automotive, construction, or maintenance, their knowledgeable team helps you find exactly what you need fast. With dependable products and customer-focused service, Bearing Supply keeps the Midlands moving. Call them today at 803-791-0371. That's 803-791-0371. All righty, folks, welcome back. Thank y'all for staying with us tonight. I'm enjoying the conversation here with John, and I hope you guys are. So, John, that leads me in the segment two. I got to ask you the first
Yeah.
question I want to ask you is what is the biggest mistake first-time homebuyers make?
Well, I think one of the things that first time home buyers need to know and they need to do well is figure out who their partners are going to be in this process, right? The people who are going to come alongside them. You might give a friend of yours an opportunity, but is that the right decision?
Sure.
We're talking about dealing with, a real estate agent. We're talking about dealing with a lender. We're talking about dealing with inspectors, right? Insurance
Sure.
coverage, right?
That's right.
So you need to shop around and you need to make a real kind of wise decision. Now,
Mhm.
what a lot of first-time home buyers do is they get on their phone and they start browsing the listings. Oh, I
Sure.
like that home. Oh, that's in my area. That's in my price point. And then they apply,
Right.
right?
Right.
And that's potentially setting yourself up for failure because what if you can't afford that home?
Right.
Right? Now you like that home, but you can't
Yeah.
afford it. It's a kind of a Debbie Downer.
And that leads me to my next question. What amount of money should a first-time home buyer need to have saved? What is your recommendation? I mean, I know,
Yeah.
is it like 10% down, 2%? I mean,
Well,
20%? Well, I don't know what it is now. I
I
haven't bought
mean,
a house in a while.
once again, if we're talking about first-time home buyers, their programs, I would say bare minimum, you need 5 grand in the bank.
Yep.
Okay. Now, let's go through a mock scenario. Okay.
Sure.
Let's say you're buying a $300,000 home
Right.
and you're using like an FHA program, which is kind of known to be a first time home buyer program,
Right.
3.5% down. Well, 3.5% of 300,000 is
$10,000. Yep.
$10,500. Okay. So that's not chump change,
No.
but let's say I get you an assistance program that covers that 10,500. Okay. Now we're talking, right?
Right. Exactly.
Well, now we have closing costs.
Right.
We've got the lender's fee because we don't work for free. We've
Right.
got the attorney's fee because they don't work for free. You've
Right.
got to insure the home. You've got to set up an escrow account for taxes and insurance that are due later. You've got to pay the recording fee, an
Right.
appraiser, credit monitoring, et cetera, et cetera. That's probably
Exactly.
another 8,000,
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
$9,000.
Easy.
Okay,
Easy.
now who's got that, right? I told you 5. Maybe you and the seller who's selling you the home can split that. They
Right.
bring 5 and you only need 4,
Right.
right?
Sure.
And that leaves you some moving money,
Yep.
$1,000 sitting there to move into the home, set yourself up, utilities, maybe some furniture. So, yeah, I mean, 5 is a number that probably anything less than that, it just doesn't make sense.
Yep. And so you just mentioned my next question. There are still some down payment assistance programs out there
Yeah.
for people.
Yeah.
So what's one thing buyers can do today to improve their chances for approval?
Well, I think number 1, you gotta be looking at your credit. You gotta be avoiding the derogatories. I can't tell you how many people I see, they've got lates. Don't allow your accounts to go late. Whatever you do, do not go late. Also, here's one. People are disputing their collections. So
Sure.
maybe you ran into some trouble in the past and you had to go late. I get it. And perhaps that late spun into a collection, right? And so
Right.
now it's sitting there on your credit, dragging you down. Don't dispute it. Call that creditor, call the collection agency and say, "Hey, can we figure this out? Can I get back on a payment plan? Can I negotiate this with you? I know
Sure.
I owe you 3,000. Maybe will you accept 1,500?" They
Yeah.
probably would. And you know what? Once that's paid, it's reflected as 0, you'll get a lift in your score. But at the end of the day, you've got to monitor your credit. Look, I'm about to make you a 30-year mortgage. I'm expecting 360 monthly payments.
Right.
We're looking at your payment pattern.
Right.
And if you're not paying things on time, it's
Yeah.
gonna be
That's
tough.
going to be tough. I don't, who wants to live? Yeah, I
Yeah.
got it. And another thing is, and I know when we bought every house we've bought, we've been told in the buying process, until you close on your house, don't go make a big purchase. Don't go buy a
Yeah.
truck. Don't go
Yeah.
finance. So maybe talk to that and give some,
Yeah. Yeah.
people some advice on that as well.
Well, the good news with this is it's a snapshot in time, right?
Right.
You're gonna get pre-approved, and that can happen in a day, right? Then you're gonna
Sure.
shop for homes and maybe find the right home, and that might take a month, right?
Right.
And then if you make a good offer and that offer is accepted, you got another month to close. So we're talking about start to finish 60 days.
Yep.
It could be done sooner. It
Yeah.
might drag on a little bit longer. In that period of time, in that snapshot, just stay the course,
Right.
status quo,
Yep.
right? There's no reason to go out and do anything. And if you have to go out and purchase something, sometimes there are emergencies. Put it on a credit card that you already
Right.
have.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And what is the process typically? 45, 60 days from beginning to end? Maybe you can walk us through the process from a
Yeah.
loan application to the final
Yeah, I will,
process.
absolutely. So when someone and I first talk and they decide to apply, that takes literally 10 minutes.
Right.
Okay. If they're immediately able to be pre-approved, they've got the good credit, they've got the income, we've calculated debt to income ratio, and they've got some money sitting in the bank. They'll have a pre-approval in hand in an hour.
Sure.
Okay. Now they could be going out and looking. Today is what? Wednesday or today's
Today's
Tuesday?
Tuesday. Yeah.
Today's Tuesday.
Tuesday.
They
Yep.
could be under contract by Friday.
Sure.
Okay. So let's say they go out, they look at the home, they like it, they make the offer, they negotiate a little bit between buyer and seller, and then they go under contract on Friday.
Right.
Okay. Typically, and Friday's May 1st. Typically, you'd be able to close that inside the calendar month, maybe at the end of May, right? The things you're going to do during that process are you're going to go through underwriting, and they're going to be a full document review.
Right.
We're going to order a title report from an attorney of your choosing. That's going to take 2 weeks. We're going to order an appraisal, which is going to tell us the value of the
Sure.
home. That's going to take 10 days.
Yep.
You're going to perform inspections to make sure that nothing's massively wrong with the home, or if it is,
Right.
you ask the seller to cure it, right? And at the end of 2 or 3 weeks, then you're going to go back in for a final underwriting review. Assuming all that checks out, all the docs in, and you're clear to close, then it's just a matter of how much do you need to send and how much do we need to send to the attorney to close this transaction.
Right.
The attorney's going to collect the funds, have you sign on the dotted line, and disperse the funds, right? The seller's paid, the county's paid, the agents are paid, the insurance is paid, and you walk away with the deed and your keys to the home.
Yep.
And this process took, what did we just say? A month and a week.
A month and a half. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So I would like for you to do something. This is kind of going to be a two-part question. We may have some people out there maybe getting out of the military, and
Yep.
like myself, I used a VA loan when I bought my house. So
Sure.
talk a little bit about VA loans, and if you can, explain the difference between a USDA, FHA,
Yeah.
VA loan, and conventional. Just,
Yeah.
so,
So the best loan out there is a VA loan.
oh yeah,
Hands down,
hands
bar
down.
none.
I
Okay.
agree.
You don't have to put any money down, although you can if you want.
Right.
But 100% financing is a huge win in this
Sure.
marketplace. Okay.
Absolutely.
The other thing that really makes VA special is there's no mortgage insurance.
Right.
Now, if you don't know what mortgage insurance is, I'll tell you that there are stemming from the previous housing market crash, there are now insurance products that protect the lender in case you default.
Right.
Okay. So the mortgage insurance is purely an insurance policy that benefits the lender, not you, but they make you pay it.
Yep.
So if you can avoid
That's
mortgage
huge.
insurance,
That's huge.
that's
That is-
huge, right?
That's really huge.
That's why the VA loan is the best. The
Yep.
next best is probably conventional. Why? Well, conventional financing, if you're a well-qualified first-time home buyer, you can get a 3% down payment on a conventional loan.
Right.
And that's pretty good. I mean, think about it. Also, conventional financing is very attractive to your seller because most of the time with the conventional appraisal, they don't care about the condition of the home
Right.
within reason.
Sure.
You can't have a hole in the roof or the foundation is tilted, but as long as the home's intact, watertight, they're a little forgiving on some of the, some of the cosmetic fixer type things that you can handle post closing. Now, you've got VA, you've got conventional, and those are your kind of your two best programs, but don't discount FHA and USDA. Now, FHA is great because it's 3.5% down, which is, again, still a low amount to put down. They have credit score minimums all the way down to 500. So they're really, again, trying to cast the widest net.
Right.
And then they also have the highest debt to income ratio. So you don't have to make as much money to go FHA as you would maybe to go conventional.
Sure.
Right.
That's
And then finally, I'll touch on USDA. That's more rural housing.
Rural
So
housing.
you can't be in the city. You can't even really be in the suburbs.
Really
You got to kind of be out
in the country.
You gotta be
You
out in
got to
the
be out in
country.
sticks.
Yeah. But that's also 100% financing, no down payment. And let me tell you about one thing that USDA has that none of the others have. If you go USDA and the home appraises for more than you're buying it for, we can use the gap there to cover your closing costs.
Really, I didn't know that. That's cool.
No other loan product allows that.
That's good.
Conventional doesn't do it, VA doesn't do it, and FHA doesn't do it, but USDA does it.
USDA does.
So that's a leg up if you're okay with the rural areas
Right.
and you can find the right home out in the
Yeah.
outskirts. That's a great way to do it as long as you're buying the home right.
Sure. So, folks, hey, I'm learning a lot that I did not know that maybe I can apply to my next house. Because I tell you, my wife and I, we talk about downsizing all the time. Once the kids are gone, and Preston, we want him to, he's getting ready to get married, leave us be. We'll be empty nesters, and what? How much longer now, Preston? A year? 28. Yeah, 2028. He's getting married. You got the date set yet? We'll give everybody the date. No, you don't.
What's your fiance's name?
Oh,
Rain?
Reagan.
Reagan.
Yeah.
Reagan.
So, folks, hey, that takes us to our next break. We hope you're enjoying the show. We hope you'll enjoy it when we come back, because we're going to get to segment 3. And in that segment, we always spin the wheel. So we'll have a lucky winner tonight, like always. So y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back. When your business depends on reliable cooling, you need a partner who understands the science behind keeping things running. That's Hudson Technologies, America's leader in refrigerant solutions. From recovery and reclamation to the refrigerants you rely on every day, Hudson delivers certified, high-quality products that keep HVAC systems, commercial facilities, and industrial operations performing at their peak. Their unmatched reclamation network means you get refrigerant you need, pure, tested, and ready for service. And with Hudson's commitment to sustainability, you're not just keeping systems running, you're helping protect the future of the industry itself. When performance matters, trust the team with the experience, the technology, and the supply to keep you moving. Hudson Technologies, refrigerants reimagined. Learn more at hudsontech.com. When it comes to finding your dream home in South Carolina, experience matters, and Adam Biedenbow brings over 20 years of proven real estate success to every client he serves. Whether you're buying your first home, upgrading, or relocating, even downsizing, Adam knows the state of South Carolina and his community, its neighborhoods, its schools, and its hidden gems, because he's been helping families build their futures here for over 2 decades. With a commitment to honesty, hard work, and personal service, Adam Biedenbow is the name that you can trust when it comes to your real estate needs. Call Adam at 803-206-7025 and let Adam go to work for you. See, we didn't put you through too much of a struggle, just some sponsors that take care of us so that we can take care of you. So, hey, we're back again here with John in the studio. John, we're going to ask you the next question. This is kind of bringing up the switch hitter on you.
Yeah.
But tell everybody out in the listening world, hey, we're talking to you folks out there in the listening world, right? So tell everybody out there in the listening world, what does refinancing make sense? Why does refinancing make sense?
Okay, let me give you a couple examples, right? So, if you have several high interest rate credit cards and maybe a car, right? Or maybe you're needing to buy a new car, right? And so you're considering, man, if I get this new payment, man, these credit cards have been killing me. My budget is so tight, but I'm sitting on $300,000 in equity in my home.
Sure.
Well, refinancing, even
sense.
refinancing into a higher interest rate from your existing primary might make sense when you examine the numbers. Like,
Right.
what is my budget now? And if I refinance and consolidate everything to one payment, boom, look at how much freedom
Exactly.
I can have. So,
Exactly.
refinancing makes sense certainly then. Also, obviously, to drop the rate, but also one of the big things we're seeing people do right now is drop into a 15-year.
Sure.
So you got on a 30-year, it's been 5 or 10 years in, so you still have 20 or 25 years left to pay.
That's awesome.
Why not refinance into a 15-year?
Yeah. And
Right?
what advice would you give someone that's looking at buying a rental property? Maybe they want to get into the rental business, or rental houses. I know it's something that, can be lucrative. So any advice you could give to somebody wanting to do that?
Get a good agent. Get a good real estate agent. You want an agent who's, first of all, if you're getting into investing in real estate, you need people feeding you deals.
Right.
You need people boots on the ground who are telling, hey, this is a home for sale. Hey, this is a home that's coming on for sale. Hey, this is a friend of mine who's asking me questions about maybe buying this home, but it's not going to work for
Right.
them. Would you be interested? You need a good agent. And not only that, that agent needs to feed you deals, tell you what the home is worth, and then tell you what the home can rent for.
Sure.
Right? That's what they should be. Hey, anytime you find something, tell me what is it worth and what can it rent for? Right? And if you
Absolutely.
have a good agent doing that, that's worth its weight in gold, man.
Absolutely. Let me ask you this: do you still think that real estate is one of the best long-term wealth building tools out there?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, again, that whole talk about the forced savings when you're paying that mortgage, okay, and you're paying down that balance, maybe the value ebbs and flows a little bit, but look at the historical trend over the last 40 years.
Yeah.
Real estate's up. Even when it's down this year, it's still up overall, right? So for sure.
Sure, absolutely. Let me ask you this: what's the most rewarding closing you've ever been part of?
Well, I mean, one of the very first closings I ever had was this younger gentleman, and he was, he had no college education. He was just a hardworking guy.
Yeah.
Right? He had very little money, very little money. I took him USDA, which is we mentioned was 100% financing, so no down payment. But not only that, there's a down payment assistance program that helped him cover his closing costs.
Awesome.
Right? So this guy put, when you go under contract to buy a home, you have to put a deposit on the contract. It's called an earnest money deposit.
Right.
It secures that home for you. The seller can't sell it out from underneath you. Well, at closing, this like 25-year-old hardworking blue collar kid got his earnest money back.
Oh,
Why?
man, that's cool.
Because
Yeah, he was like,
he
"Oh,
went
thank you so much."
USDA and we covered his closing costs entirely. And he got a check at closing. He bought a home, got his keys, got his earnest money back, and went and moved into that.
That's awesome.
I'll never forget
That's
that.
got to be a
That was
good
great
feeling
deal.
when you're helping
Yeah,
somebody do that.
absolutely.
All right. So are you ready?
Ready to?
Ready for what? You're probably wondering. Are you ready? I'm just going to ask you. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Throw it at me.
You're ready. Okay. We're going to play a little game tonight, folks, with John. So we're going to have you've seen this before on my show?
I don't think so.
We're going to do rapid fire.
Okay, rapid
so
fire.
I'm going to
Yeah,
give
yeah,
you
yeah.
some questions that may be pertaining to or maybe not to mortgage. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right.
Go, let's have at it.
Coffee or energy drinks on a busy day?
Coffee, 100%.
Favorite South Carolina restaurant?
Ooh, I would say.
Take it too long.
Oh, no.
Kidding. I'm just kidding. No, favorite
I'm a
South Carolina
I'm a
restaurant.
sushi guy. So
Oh, I
say,
love sushi.
I'm gonna
We'll
say
do that.
taco
Okay.
sushi.
All right. Beach or mountains?
Beach.
What's the financial habit everyone should develop?
Saving.
Best advice you've ever received?
Marry her.
It's a good one. All right. If listeners remember one thing from today's conversation with you, what would you want it to be?
I would want the listener to see how genuine I am about doing loans, and how for me it's more about. Of course, I've got to make a living, but it's more about seeing the person and how that buying a home changes their life, and that's what really drives me and wakes me up every day.
That's awesome. I really can, folks. I can tell you this guy. Just hearing stories from past clients he's worked with and the success. I get tongue tied. The success stories that he shares with us as a group and with me and in our conversations. Just knowing the passion that comes through what he does and seeing how he's so excited about what he's done for someone, it really shines through in you, John. So I want to give you kudos for that. I can tell that you enjoy what you're doing. You like helping people. And from what I've been told by a lot of people that know you and we have mutual friends, they say you're one of the best in the business.
Yeah, man.
So here's what we're going to do now, folks. I'm going to slide over to the table with John. We're going to spin the prize wheel like we always do. And John being the guest tonight, you get to do that. There's only one rule, kind of like the Price is Right. It's got to go around at least once. So
Nice.
we'll have you spin the wheel, and then we're going to have you reach in that golden tumbler over there and pull out a winner for tonight's show. So, folks, I'm going to move over here. Stay tuned. All right, folks, welcome back. We have had a great time in the studio tonight talking with John. So, John, it comes to that time of the night that we do this every week. You get to spin this prize wheel. As I told you, coming over here, it's got to go around one time. So this right here ain't going to get it. It's got to go around one time at least, spin it as hard as you can or however you want to. But you're going to actually see what folks win tonight when we.
Does it matter which direction I do?
You can do it left, right, either way you want to go.
All right, let's give it a whirl.
All right.
What do we got?
Someone has won a $100 Visa gift card.
Wow.
So we're going to cross our fingers. So cross your fingers. Some lucky winner out there. Their fate is in your hands, John.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
do I get to spin this too?
You get to spin the wheel.
All right. All right.
Let's spin it around, shake it up a few times that way.
And
you
then
got it all shook up?
Just pop it in. And
I'm all shook up. Yeah.
Wes, while I'm doing this, man, I appreciate the platform, man. It's awesome.
No, I appreciate you being on the show, man. It's awesome having you in here and your experience. So now you get to read out the lucky winner.
John Deason.
John Deason. John Deason, congratulations, my friend. You have won $100 Visa gift card, and we can't thank you enough for subscribing to the show, liking, and just being a friend and supporting the show. We can't thank you enough. But before we close tonight, folks, I want to give it back over to John. John, I'm sure these people have been very interested in the content we've provided tonight, especially what you've had to educate people on as far as mortgages.
Yeah.
So now tell these people out there in the listening world where they can find you and a little bit about how to get in touch with you.
For sure. So basically, I work at Cross Country Mortgage, so you can start there. But my website is John B Lending, so that's JON without the H, B as in boy, and then lending.com. So that's going to navigate you to my homepage.
Okay.
I also, John B Lending is like my tagline on any of the socials out there. And I'm
Awesome.
really trying to develop my TikTok following. So
Yeah.
if you're on TikTok, I know this is YouTube.
That's right.
And hey, we're going to use a little bit to shorten it up.
That's awesome.
But John B Lending. So I'm on all the platforms. Just look me up.
That's awesome. Oh man, I love it. Folks, on a 3, 2, 1, John and I are going to say good night, but we appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. 3, 2, 1. Good
Thank you,
night,
guys. Good night.
everybody.